So hello and welcome from the Nondescripts Cricket Club once again. And Indian team has already wrapped up their second practice session ahead of the 3 day warm-up fixture against Sri Lanka XI, which has been already announced earlier in the day. And again, it was an intense practice session. What has changed from yesterday was the timing. Yesterday they practiced in the morning, and today they practiced in the afternoon. Obviously it was hot and humid. For a while, the clouds came in, so it was pleasant while the Indian batters were batting, the likes of Shubman Gill, Devdutt Padikkal, Yashasvi Jaiswal, and KL. But it was overall a hot practice session, overall a hot day. And now coming to the details of the practice session, obviously the intensity was right up there again. Like yesterday, but there was a slight change in sequence today. Yesterday, first, KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal were the first two batters to hit the nets and face the fast bowlers, the openers. Today, what they did, the moment they hit the nets, they were seen facing the spin quartet of Ravindra Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav, Manav Suthar, and Saransh Jain. Yesterday, we told you Kuldeep didn't bowl a single ball, and today Kuldeep was the first bowler who started bowling at the nets to Yashasvi Jaiswal and KL Rahul. Then Shubman Gill and Devdutt Padikkal started against the fast bowlers, and Dhruv Jurel and Rishabh Pant, they all started against the throwdowns. That was by batting in pairs. These three bears were continuously batting, and now we'll come to the bowling as well. Debasis, first, obviously, how good was to see Kuldeep Yadav finally getting a ball. Yesterday, after we reported that Kuldeep didn't bowl a single ball, there was so much talk that what is happening with Kuldeep Yadav when he can bat, why he didn't bowl. Today he bowled, and tell us how did he bowl?
Yeah, obviously, it was just one practice session, the first practice session where Kuldeep was not seen bowling. But come day two, day the second practice session, Kuldeep was the first one. Actually, he and Saransh Jain were rolling their arms in the middle, just next to the match day wicket. Obviously, tomorrow the 3 day practice game begins here. And what is interesting is all the grass that was seen for the last couple of days has been removed. So whether it has got to do with the Indian team's request, we are yet to know. But whatever grass was left, that has been completely removed. So it's a, I would say it's a brownish tinge. The wicket looks a lot more brownish, which means it will be an ideal batting wicket. We had spoken to the grounds manager here at the non-district cricket club as well. But apart from Kuldeep, obviously one bowler who has been impressing practice session one, practice session two has to be Saransh Jain and Manav Suthar. These two, I think, will give Kuldeep Yadav a tough run. Means for to get a play not in the playing 11. I'm assuming Vaibhav that there will be three spinners in the playing 11. So Ravindra Jadeja, you obviously him being the senior most, obviously you cannot leave him out. So it will be Ravindra Jadeja and one among the three spinners, Saransh Jain, Kuldeep Yadav, and Manav Suthar.
Obviously, after that man of the match performance against Afghanistan, Manav should be there. Yesterday, he bowled terrific. He looked terrific. The only bowler I saw beating Shubman Gill was Manav Suthar. Today as well, KL Rahul was batting really well against spin, and before Manav Suthar bowled him, and then Saransh also bowled really well to KL Rahul and Yashasvi Jaiswal especially. There was a good duel between Yashasvi Jaiswal and Saransh, and the off spinner versus the left hand batter, and Saransh troubled Yashasvi the most, and that was so good to see because yesterday it was Saransh Jain versus Devdutt Padikkal. The battle that we saw, it was won by Saransh Jain hands down. Today he troubled one of India's better batters of spin, that is Yashasvi Jaiswal, and Saransh has been the most impressive bowler of the all lot. And again, Manav Suthar has been bowling really well again. So I think it will be again very tough for the Indian team management to decide who will be their three spinners. Kuldeep also looked really well. Kuldeep also, obviously, apart from one or two lofted shots that were played against him, Kuldeep looked really well. I think he once or twice, I think he trapped Yashasvi Jaiswal in front of the wicket for LBW. And on a light-hearted note, Ravindra Jadeja was appealing on behalf of Kuldeep Yadav, so that also happened. But now coming to the fast bowlers, yesterday like Kuldeep didn't bowl. Today it was Prasidh Krishna who didn't bowl a single ball. He did his practice session, fielding sessions, warm ups, batting as well. He batted as well, but he didn't bowl a single ball. So today it was Prasidh Krishna, much like yesterday. It was Kuldeep Yadav, and the set of bowlers who bowled, Mohammad Siraj, Gurnur Brar, and Akib Nabi. All three bowlers, fast bowlers, bowled for around 40 to 45 minutes before they went off, went to pad up, and then started their batting sessions. So coming to the fast bowlers, Debashish, who looked the most impressive to you? Gurnur Brar, he bowled really well, and he actually almost injured Shubman Gill, who
Yes.
went off,
He
and
got a
for on a right thumb he got a strapping as well. So Gurnur to me looked the best.
I think he has been really impressive ever since he burst into the scene. He has looked very impressive. But obviously, let us just share a few information about the match tomorrow. 3-day match tomorrow. It is going to be it's not going to be an official first class match. So the both the teams, in fact, the Sri Lankan 11 was announced today. Vaibhav will announce it, but as far as the Indian team, since it is not a first class game, we are assuming that it all the 15 members part of the tour will get an opportunity. So the team management will have the luxury of perhaps seeing all the 15 players that are in the test squad. So that is one thing. Obviously, the match will be live telecasted back in India. So people out there back in India may watch the match live on Sony 10.1, as well as the match will also be live streamed on Sony Live. That's the second one. Third one is obviously the match timing. The match will start at 10 a.m. in the morning. Lunch will be taken from 12 to 12:40. Then the final session will be from 3 to 5 p.m. So those are the match timings. Crowd spectators won't be allowed to see the match, so the practice game. So that is the one information that we thought of sharing with you.
Yeah, so that was the information related to the where you can watch the match and about how the match will be played. The details that are shared by Devashish. Now coming to the wicket keepers, uh, Rishabh Pant had a very good session against the spinners. He was attacking the spinners, all the spinners, and mostly the net bowlers. Mostly the net bowlers were the ones who bowled to both Dhruv Jurel and Rishabh Pant, and Dhruv Jurel and Rishabh Pant enjoyed their time against the net bowlers, lofting them a lot of times down the ground, being very aggressive right from the start. So that was very good to see, because that's what we want from not everybody wants to see from Rishabh Pant, even from Dhruv Jurel, who had a good series against Sri Lanka, and that I think is a good sign heading into the first test. Rishabh Pant being in a good space of mind
Yes,
and looking
and
good,
and
really good.
it was lovely to see him cracking a joke or two with Moni Mokel. So that I mean, so that is what you want. Means the vibe amongst the team is very good. Means obviously, but Vaibhav, obviously one key aspect was Shubhadeep Ghosh in the fielding session. Yes, yesterday also he spent a lot of time with the catching practice, but today it was all very specific with regards to close catching, and also Selimidov, and there were KL Rahul, Shubman Gill, Yashasvi Jaiswal, all three of them, and Devdutt Padikkal was also there. So it was it went on for a good 20-25 minutes. And Shubhadeep Ghosh is slowly gelling with the players. The players have also started enjoying. Vaibhav?
Yeah, definitely, and that's what As a being a new fielding coach, you want to build that relationship with your players. The relationship that players had with T. Dilip, same kind of relations will develop over the time with Subhadeep Ghosh and between the players, and it has already. It's very evident that Subhadeep Ghosh has entered the system like a fish into the water, and then after that closing fielding session with Devdutt, Yashasvi, Shubman Gill, and KL Rahul, he was seen having a special session with Rishabh Pant, special wicket keeping drill session with Rishabh Pant. And also, one point that we have to make is from yesterday, this was India's second practice session, but Dhruv Jurel didn't had any sort of wicket keeping drills. He was not seen donning the gloves at all. So that again tells you that although Dhruv Jurel is the designated second wicket keeper in the team, but he's not keeping at all. Obviously, closer to the first test, we will have to see how much wicket keeping he's doing, because obviously if anything happens to Pant, then Jurel has to be ready, and Jurel has been very safe behind the stumps. So yeah, that was it. I think around the Indian team, I will just read out the Sri Lanka board SLC 11, which was announced earlier in the day. So it is Nishan Madhushankar, Ravindu Rashnata, Pasindu, Surya Bhandara, Pawan Ratnayake, Ahan Vikram Singhe, Sonal Dinusha, the captain, Anjala Bandara, the wicket keeper. We have interviewed him. Go and watch his interview that we have done. Nipun Dhananjay, Lahiru Kumara is back. So again, Lahiru Kumara is fit and he is there. Then Vishwa Fernando is also there. Asanka Manoj, Isinta Vijay Sundara, Ramesh Mendis, Kesara Novanta, and Dulum Sudhira. So these are the 15 players that have been picked, and they will be in action against India tomorrow at this venue. And we will also be here to cover the practice match. So stay tuned to Revsportz for all the breakings, updates, and exclusives related to the India versus Sri Lanka Test series. Thank you for watching this video.
For India's best multi-sports coverage, your platform is one, and that's Revsportz. So like, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. I think by now you know that we will be everywhere in different parts of the world and bring you on-ground reportage. As I said, your best multi-sports coverage on Revsportz, your favorite destination.